Imagine a champion swimmer, now terrified of the very water that once defined her. Eleanor Vance thought she'd buried her past in the quiet coastal town of Port Blossom, Maine, after a tragic boating accident claimed her family, including her mother, years ago. But when she pulls a struggling young girl from the ocean, a floodgate of fragmented memories begins to open, forcing Eleanor to confront the terrifying truth she's suppressed for so long. This isn't just a story of survival, it's a chilling psychological journey into the depths of memory and guilt. As Eleanor grapples with haunting hallucinations and the echoes of her mother's last moments, she must decide if facing the truth will finally set her free, or if the weight of water will drown her completely. Will she find peace in acceptance, or remain trapped by the secrets of the past?
Coastal mornings are silent, as if even the past falls quiet here. That's why I chose this place, Port Blossom. In this corner of Maine, the gray sky always merges with the sea. Rocky shores relentlessly defy the waves. Here, everything reminds itself, not with its voice, but with its silence. Cold waters, sharp winds. This is my sanctuary, my new prison. 5:30 a.m. My eyes open seconds before my alarm rings. Years of habit. Every morning I glance for a second at the old tarnished swimming medals in my drawer. My fingers lightly touch the cold, rough surface of the bronze and silver. Each one is an echo of the person I once was, the life I once had. Then I quickly close the drawer, as if those memories are being locked away, never to surface again. The same cup, the same coffee. Everything is the same. Routine is my armor. Outside, dawn is breaking. The sky is in shades of purple and gray. I walk alone along the shore, my bare feet leaving prints in the sand. This desolate stretch of Port Blossom Beach is a kind of meditation for me, a kind of punishment. Waves crash against the shore, foam and recede. Each time I force myself to go into the water, but I can't dare. Even when a wave splashes my feet, I flinch slightly, this fear reflected on my face, whispering that deep, inexplicable terror inside me. That cold touch of the water. Each time, it felt like it was freezing something inside me. To be so afraid of the very thing I was once best at. Was this my curse or my punishment? Eleanor Vance, former national swimming champion. What an irony. Now I'm a ghost who can't even touch a drop of water. My night shift at the Salty Siren Inn, a small hotel, begins at 7 p.m. The hotel is one of Port Blossom's old wooden buildings. The smell of seaweed mixes with the damp scent of old wood. The old creaking chairs in the lobby bear the weight of time. I don't talk to anyone. I just do my job, giving short answers to guests' questions. I avoid eye contact. The silence of the night is a blessing for me. Only in that silence does the noise in my mind quiet down, if only for a little while. When I retreat to my room, the world stays outside. This is my sanctuary, and also my prison. My old swimming journals sit on my desk, pages yellowed, ink faded. Each one is a record of triumphs, records, training sessions. But now they are condemned to gather dust. In the corner, there's an ornate wooden chest, a relic from my mother, Sarah. A chest I haven't opened in years, unaware of the secrets it holds. And next to it, a small, locked box. That box was like a tomb, holding my deepest secret, my greatest fear. The key wasn't lost. I just didn't dare to use it. Years ago, my family disappeared in a boating accident. My father and 2 younger brothers drowned at the bottom of the sea in that cursed storm. Their last moments were like a clear picture in my mind. Waves, streams, a sinking boat. But my memories of my mother, Sarah, they were fragmented and blurry, especially that last moment. We argued, but I don't remember why. There was only anger and the sound of the water, a void, that part of my mind, as if covered by a veil of fog. The old-timers in town, especially the fishermen, knew my past. Port Blossom was a small place. Everyone knew everyone. But they remained respectfully silent. They didn't look at me with pity, just with an understanding silence. Mr. Silas, the owner of the hotel and a former fisherman, approaches Eleanor in a fatherly but distant manner. Sometimes when I'm sitting in the lobby, he watches me from afar, a slight sadness appearing on his face. It's as if he, too, shared that silence with me. In his eyes, there was something I never wanted to remember. Under the water, there is no time, there is no past, no future, only the weight of the body and the beating of the heart. But sometimes, some screams can pass even through the water, and sometimes the past comes back to drown you. The water that once set me free was now my biggest prison. One morning, during my walk with the first rays of the rising sun on the horizon, I noticed movement near the rocks in the sea. I saw a young girl struggling. My heart pounded, as if something dormant for years had suddenly awakened. I hesitated. My body froze. A flash of an image struck my mind like lightning, a silhouette disappearing among the waves. That moment, that terrible moment. Fear appeared on Eleanor's face, but then a determination came. The old swimmer in me, the champion, returned for a moment. I plunged into the icy water. With powerful, forgotten strokes, I reached the girl. My body, for the first time in years, was reunited with the water. I saved the girl. The young girl's name is Chloe Hayes. Wet and angry, she walked away without properly thanking Eleanor, avoiding eye contact. There was a defiant glint in her eyes, but also a deep fragility. However, a few days later, Chloe reappeared in the lobby of the Salty Siren Inn. She had found me. She confessed she had run away from home and had nowhere to stay. She wore ragged clothes, and her eyes showed exhaustion but also a spark of courage. With Mr. Silas's knowledge, I arranged a temporary cleaning job for her at the hotel. Chloe. She was like my repressed younger self. Rebellious, fragile, having problems with her mother. The days spent with her began to trigger the dark spots in my mind, as if turning the key to that locked box. Chloe talked a lot, especially about her arguments with her mother. She was drowning me, she would say. Each time I would flinch. That word echoed somewhere deep inside me. Her story was like an echo of my own. Her anger awakened the anger I had suppressed. One evening, as Chloe was cleaning the lobby, she recounted her last big argument with her mother. "My mom doesn't understand me," she said, her voice trembling. "It's like she's trying to mold me into what she wants. I feel like she's drowning me." In that moment, I felt something break inside me. My own argument with my mother. I still couldn't remember why, but that word drowning pierced my heart like a knife. Sometimes the past doesn't drown you. You pull yourself to the bottom of the water because you try to hold on to the past. In my case, the more I tried to push the past to the bottom of the water, the more it pulled me up. Every night, the sound of the ocean turned into a scream echoing in my room. With Chloe's presence, the cracks in Eleanor's routine grew wider. At night, my dreams turned into nightmares. I hear my mother Sarah's voice. "It's because of you," the echoes say. "It happened because of you." I feel wet hands touching my neck, as if they are pulling me underwater. Every morning when I wake up, my room is damp. As if the sea has seeped in, I see puddles of water on the floor. But when I touch them, everything is dry and normal. When I look in the mirror, I don't see myself. I see my 17-year-old self, that young, scared, helpless face, the same terror, the same guilt in her eyes. It's as if that moment, that day, that girl was waiting for me in this mirror. These hallucinations were slowly taking over my mind. The line between reality and nightmare was blurring. One evening, the hotel empty, I sat in the lobby, grappling with the voices in my mind, when I heard Chloe's voice coming from my room. Overcome by curiosity, She was rummaging through my old ornate wooden chest. A surge of anger rose within me, but also fear. What would she find? That chest was a gateway to my past. When I entered the room, I saw Chloe. In her hands were newspaper clippings, documents related to the accident, and a half-finished page from a journal. The pages were crumpled as if submerged in water, the ink smeared. Her eyes turned to me, filled with both surprise and fear. Eleanor enters the room and sees Chloe. She gets angry, her eyes blazing. "What are you doing?" I whisper, my voice menacing. Chloe wants to run away in fear, but Mr. Silas intervenes. He must have heard the commotion from the lobby. His eyes meet Eleanor's. "She left something with the water, Eleanor," he says, his voice wise and calm. "And you are like a mirror to her. She is showing you your past. You can't run away from it." Mr. Silas's words unlocked a door somewhere deep inside me. Mr. Silas's words started a storm in my mind. Chloe's presence, my mother's voice, those dreams, it all came together, but I still couldn't remember that last piece, the truth inside that locked box. I was afraid, so afraid. A few days later, Ms. Davies, a social worker from Coastal Ridge Social Services, arrives in Port Blossom to find Chloe. She comes to the Salty Siren Inn and finds me in the lobby. Her voice is official, but there's an underlying concern. Her eyes scrutinize me carefully. "Eleanor Vance," she says, "we know Chloe Hayes is here. Why are you keeping this girl? Her family is looking for her. Who are you punishing by running from your past? Her or yourself?" These words demolished the wall Eleanor had built for years. I felt as if all the oceans inside me were emptying. For the first time, after a long time, I sob. Tears traced dry paths on my face, as if all the salt water accumulated inside me is pouring out. Chloe, seeing me cry, approaches me in surprise. Her face shows both compassion and understanding. "You were a child too," she says, her voice unexpectedly soft. "Maybe you are the one who needs to be forgiven. Everyone makes mistakes." Chloe's words open another door inside me. That night, I retreat to my room. Mr. Silas's words, Chloe's compassion. All of it urges me to open that chest. Not the locked box, but the ornate wooden chest. I find the journal inside. With trembling hands, I turn the pages. My eyes fix on that half-finished page. The pages are crumpled as if submerged in water, the ink smeared. And then, all the repressed memories hit my mind like a tsunami. 17-year-old Eleanor and her mother Sarah are arguing heatedly at the end of a small old pier in Port Blossom. Eleanor's face is flushed with anger. Her eyes glare at her mother with resentment. Sarah's face is sad and tired, her eyes filled with deep disappointment. Her mother tries to say something, but Eleanor doesn't listen. Eleanor screams at her mother, "Get away from me! You're drowning me! You're ruining my life!" She pushes her mother with anger, with all her might. Sarah loses her balance and falls from the pier into the sea. The waves swallow her. Eleanor freezes in shock. Her eyes are wide with terror. Her mother struggles and Eleanor's mind blurs. A moment of hesitation. In that moment, time stops. Her mother reaches out for help, but Eleanor is frozen. Then, as if to erase that moment, she swims away in a panic. She doesn't help her mother. She just escapes. The silhouette of her mother disappearing among the waves is etched into her mind. I didn't abandon swimming. Swimming was remembering. Every stroke would bring back that moment, that scream, that regret, and I didn't want to remember. That day, I pushed not only my mother, but also a part of myself to the bottom of that sea. That locked box. That was my conscience. My secret kept locked for years. I finished the journal. Every word pierced my heart like a knife, but at the same time, it lifted a burden from my shoulders, that weight I had carried for years. Now, finally, it had surfaced. Eleanor wakes up early in the morning. Her eyes are red, but there is a new determination on her face. This time she doesn't go to the shore, but directly into the sea. The waves are high, the air is cold, the harsh winter winds of Maine blow. She doesn't hesitate. She enters the water. As her body adjusts to the icy water, she swims out with powerful strokes. Deeper, deeper, as if until she hears her mother's voice, that last scream. Under the water, she feels the full weight of that moment. Regret, fear, guilt. All of it feels like it's drowning her. But this time she doesn't run away. She learns to swim with that weight. And then, with a breath, she returns. She begins to swim towards the shore. This swim is not an escape. It is a purification, an acceptance. Chloe goes to the social services center with Ms. Davies. Eleanor gives her a farewell letter. The letter contains wisdom distilled from her own experiences. Dear Chloe, the letter begins, life is light for some, heavy for others. But you can learn to swim with the load. Sometimes with your own weight, sometimes with the support of others. Running away only pulls you deeper. Facing it frees you. I hope you find your peace in a place where I couldn't. As Chloe reads the letter, an understanding appears in her eyes. She gives Eleanor a grateful look. In the final scene, Eleanor sits on the small pier in front of the Salty Siren Inn. In her hand is an old necklace, worn by the sea salt, a relic from her mother, Sarah. She squeezes the necklace in her palm. The sun rises, painting a golden path on the sea. The sea is calm, still. A slight melancholic but peaceful smile appears on Eleanor's face. Her eyes fix on the vanishing sunbeams on the horizon. I'm not running anymore. Now I remember. That day, it wasn't just my mother I left in the sea. I left a part of myself too. But now, I've taken that part back. That locked box. It was my own conscience. And now it was unlocked. Silence, most of all, echoes under the water. And in that silence, I found myself. The weight of the water. It wasn't drowning me anymore. It was carrying me.